Well, here I am again, working on this Pontiac Torrent. Isn't she lovely? What is that? That's a black cherry paint on this one. This vehicle's 20 years old this year. She's an 06, 291,000 kilometers, and 500 on top of that, almost 292,000. Anyway, why it's here? Well, one thing is there's a battery gone in it, but we're not talking about the battery today. And there's a ball joint gone on this side. We're not talking about that today either. But what we are talking about is a high-speed fan is gone off of it. So she has low, like quarter speed, half speed, and three-quarter speed. But as soon as she hits high speed, that's the end of it. There's nothing. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to go in and we're going to just test the fan. I'll show you what's going on. Well, I went through the resistor. The resistor looked fine. It didn't smell burnt. I did some checking on the resistance on the leads going in and stuff. I don't have any numbers to know, but every one of them had resistance and there was power going through the resistor. The relay was working fine and the fuse was good. So now, still have the problem. I did find a yellow wire that looks like I may have cut partially through back in the day when I did some work on this car before. And I did change the resistor in this car at one time, and I had to change part of the harness, and I think I must have nicked one of the wires. So I went ahead and fixed that and soldered it back on, the yellow wire, and it's all good now, but there's still an issue with the high speed. So I'm going to pull apart, I don't know if you can see it, I'm going to pull apart the switch area up here in the console. So I'll get you set up and I'll show you how to do that. Well, I've got it set up. I think you guys can see what's going on. But anyway, I'll give you a quick idea what's going on here. So I have to pull this bezel off. So first, to get this bezel off, I know from experience, I have to lift up on it and clear the shifter. But if you put the shifter down in neutral or in low gear, but make sure you put the park brake on or block your wheels. You don't need to start the car or anything, but just turn the key on to run. Pull the shifter down, probably neutral or drive, it doesn't matter. And then you can you get yourself a trim tool. I'm using a screwdriver. This has been off a couple times. I've been in here before for different things. So it just pulls off like so. And this is the, if you can see it, all right here is the fan knob. So let's, I'll bring you around and I'll show you what's going on in here because you guys can't see it. So let me get this back in park. It's tight. Everything wants to be in the way. All right, so this is the fan plug. This provides power to the heater fan. Now I could smell this as soon as I pulled this cover off. When I pulled this up out of here, you guys couldn't smell it, but I could smell it. So I know that has a problem right there. So let's just pull it off and take a peek. But let me do a sniff test. Yep, she's been hot. So you guys can see the discoloration too, probably. So let's pull that off. See what's in there. Oh yeah. Gee, I wonder why that didn't work very well. So there you go. So if you're having this problem, you might want to start here instead of going through all the other rigmarole. Wow. All right, I got to figure out what I'm going to do with this. I think I might be able to pull the plugs out of the back and clean them. How does that look inside there? I can't see it from this angle. If that's burnt in there, I'll have to clean them up. Maybe I'll take that plug apart. All right, give me a minute to think. So I figured out, I'll just put it back on. This is just a shaft that goes through to this side. So this is a separate piece altogether of this housing. So I just figured out if I could just lift up on it like that, pop that down, and I suspect on the other side, I'm doing this with one hand, and I can take a peek in there. So yeah, that's just a connector. Steering wheel's right in the way. Actually, it has you can see in there, it has resistance. So I could clean those up, I think, and see if I can get this running. So something's causing high resistance in this. So I'm gonna have to get you guys down somewhere so I can get this out, so you can still see. So just give me a second so I can set you guys up. Okay, so let's get this off. And there's a tab similar to that on the bottom, I believe. If I can just get my screwdriver in it. It may need to be. Don't want to break anything here because like these parts are getting hard to find on these cars. All right, let me do the bottom one first. There it goes, and then I can do the top one. At least I have control over it. There. Oh yeah. So that's been warm too. Well, I'm going to clean this all up. I'll get some contact cleaner. And this here, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Clearly, this is where the issue is. This piece here is just just a tin plate with contact. So I'll clean all this stuff up. If you guys can see that or not, up in here. Right up in there. So there's the contacts that run on the back of this plate, and this is how it works in the car. All right, so I want to get some contact cleaner. I'll clean all this stuff up. Put a little bit, this had a little bit of, I suspect it was like an electrical grease in it, dielectric grease. And it has something there for lubricant. So let's get that. I have lots of dielectric grease, and these are like wiper kind of contacts. So dielectric grease shouldn't interfere with it too much. You should be able to still get a contact through it. All right, let's do that. All right, so I've got some, just some sensor cleaner. That should work pretty good. And I'll put that in there and clean this up a bit. And we'll put a little grease in, and I'll go clean those contacts as well in there. That's cleaned up pretty good. It does look like it's been hot though. And there's the 2 pins. These are the 12 volt pins. I'm going to see if I can get a new piece for this. I doubt if they sell it separate, but you never know. I'll look. But I'll get this cleaned up and get my niece on the road. It's her car, so get her back on the road anyway. Okay, I got a couple of flat files here. Just these little flat ones. I got a whole kit of them. This is the flat one, I should say. So I'm going to give them a clean. These connector tabs, best I can. Anything I think is better than nothing. And I may pinch the grip parts of the connectors, quick connects back together. And I can't really see in there. I don't have a lot of light on this. But I'll get them cleaned up, and we'll see if this helps. Okay, I got a little bit of electrical insulating grease, and I'm going to put a little bit in there. Actually, I'm going to get it on my finger and put it in. A little bit, and that should do it. That should be more than enough. Set that aside, and we'll re-grease this in here, lube it up. There we go. That should keep that from corroding. They seem to be good and clean in there now. All right, good. We'll put that back in. Okay, back in the car. And I've got this plug. I think I'm going to just kind of pinch these together a tiny bit, just to give it a little bit more tension on them. Not much, just a little bit. There, just a tiny bit more snug. And I'm going to see if I can get a new plug for her and a new one of these. And then we'll get that put in before we have something else happen to it. But if we can keep the resistance down, I got it cleaned up pretty decent in there. If you can see that or not, but I cleaned up those 2 pins pretty good. So let's put this back on. It's actually marked up. So you shouldn't have too much trouble getting it back on, or I shouldn't, rather. So the upward position, so I'm going to put it back the same way I had it, was all the way off. And it just clips back on. And this clips in here. like so. And there's a lot of tension on that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the car back in neutral again. So just bear with me. So I can get some tension off that panel there. There we go. That's better. Less chance of it pulling on it. And put that back in, and we'll test it while we have it apart here. All right, so let's see now. If you guys can hear that, you'll probably hear the fan run. So there's low. That's kind of medium. Almost, that's a 3/4 fan. Oh yeah, full fan. All right, so there's some parts that need to be bought or found, but she has fan back. Perfect. Shut that off, and I'll put this all back together. And you just do it the same way you took it apart. There it goes, just got to fit in. There's a little piece down in here you have to get in place too. I didn't show you that, but there's a little part that flops down there, and it has to go back in place. So, like so. All of them are just on these little clips, like I'll show you. It's all on these little wedge-shaped clips, so they shouldn't be too hard. Good. Put her back in park. All right, let's give it a try again. Make sure it's still working. Turn the ignition on. I've got it back in park. And there's low speed, half speed, 3/4 speed, full speed. Good, 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 good. That's fixed. Well, there we go. Another one fixed. The old Pontiac Torrent. She's going to run again for a while. I've got a ball joint to do on it. And there's a couple other small things that need to be done in this car before I send it back to my niece. However, it's a 20-year-old car and with 291,500 kilometers on it for mileage. And is it the prettiest car in the world? No, but you know what? That's all my niece can afford. And most likely there's quite a few other people out there with these vehicles. I think Saturn Vue will have a very similar situation. But I'm going to just say the Torrents, 06 Torrent. And if you're like my niece, it's your only vehicle and you don't have money to buy another one, you're trying to keep it going. So hopefully if you have run into the same problem, not hopefully that you had the problem, but hopefully this helped you if you're having that problem where you lose your upper fan speed, high fan speed, because it's winter. Here it's, well, not bad today, it's -20, but when she first told me about this, it was -35 degrees Celsius, which is almost -40 Fahrenheit and Celsius. They both intersect there. So it's pretty darn cold, and she didn't have full fan speed. So anyway, if you have one of these cars and you're just struggling to keep it going, subscribe to my channel, because I do have some other videos on here for this vehicle, and this vehicle is not going away anytime soon. My niece can't afford to buy another one, so we'll be keeping it going the best we can. Anyway, thank you for watching, and hopefully that was helpful. We'll catch you in the next one.